Guess what is the 21st century's health epidemic? It is stress. Stress is the trigger point for majority of the illnesses that we all are going through. It is 100% self-made. Now my question is, why are we creating something which is detrimental to our own selves? And the funny part is, we know that it is detrimental and still we are unable to stop its creation. Is it possible to change our patterns of thinking or to control our mind? Because in a way they are contributing for our inner chaos. Well, any forced attempt to change our patterns of thinking or to control our mind will make us even more stressful. So we cannot force it. It has to happen naturally, or it has to happen in a transformative way, right? Because the moment we try to resist something, it starts to persist. We cannot escape from it. So we cannot resist it. That's clear. So is it possible to change our patterns of thinking or to control our mind without force, without any forceful attempt? Before we go ahead and discuss if it is possible or not, let's try to understand how a thought is produced. Thoughts are an end result of your past experiences. When you had your experiences when you were a child, or when you were a teenager, or even when you had an experience yesterday regarding anything, that will create a thought today, that could create a thought today. And also thoughts are interpretation of your past experiences. In Sanskrit, this is called samskara, the seed of memory, which is responsible for your present pattern of thinking. It is conditioned thinking because it is conditioned by your own past experiences. So can we come out of that conditioned thinking is our next question. Is it possible to change our patterns of thinking without any force? Yes, we can do that with some practices. Again, all these practices will help you to bring a transformative thinking that will not force you to think in a certain way. The first one is reflective self-inquiry. This is a practice that we do by asking few questions to ourselves. So whenever you sit for meditation, or if you sit with yourself in your me time, start asking questions like, who am I? What's my purpose? What I am grateful for? What do I want? What are my likes and dislikes? Why I have such likes and certain dislikes? Just question them. Engage in a conversation with yourself. You may not end up having an answer, but definitely you will start living those questions and life will move you through the answers. Even if you have a conversation, a meaningful conversation with your friend or your neighbor, after the conversation you might have observed that there will be traces of transformative thinking happening within you without any effort from your side, right? The same thing will happen if you invest your time with you in reflective self-inquiry. This is a wonderful practice. And the second one is being a silent witness to your own thoughts. So just try to observe your thoughts without judging them. Do not judge them. Just become aware of them. Let's assume that I'm having a thought like I am goat. The moment I'm having the thought I am goat, I'm not identifying myself with that thought, nor I'm concluding that I am a goat, because I know that has nothing to do with reality, and I have no idea why I got that thought that I am a goat. But what can I do? I can just step back and see the thought as just a thought, not judging anything. Similarly, similar to this thought, you may have a thought like you don't deserve it, you cannot do it, you are worthless. Any thoughts that you're hearing from within you has nothing to do with reality, and you'll realize that it has nothing to do with reality the moment you start to witness your thoughts being a subject and the thought being the object. Gradually you will start to observe your reactions to react, and all these observations will help you to realize that thoughts are just objects happening in front of you. That's all. They have nothing to do with you. This practice will help you to go there. And the third one is any mindfulness practice. You can Google Vipassana techniques. There are many practices that we can do to become aware through our sensory experiences. You can become aware of your breathing, mindful breathing. You can become aware of your taste, mindful eating. Anything that you can do with all your attention towards it, it becomes a mindfulness practice. So this practice will help you to stay grounded in the present moment and not to build your own imaginary castles of your own thoughts. The fourth practice is put forward by Katie Bryan. It is cognitive therapy. Again, this is a question and answer practice wherein you will ask questions on your limiting beliefs and your limiting thoughts. Is that thought real? Am I 100% sure that it is real? Where would I be if I do opposite of that thought, of that limiting belief? In that way, such engagement will help will help you to realize that maybe that limiting belief is what is stopping from you to achieve what you want, and it has nothing to do with reality. That's just a thought. You'll realize that if you engage time with your own self. And the fifth one is a very simple practice. Just be in the present moment. Sit in the stillness. That's all. And all these practices that you hear from videos or read from books, do not force yourself to do it if they are not resonating with you. But I highly recommend you to do 5 minutes of reflective self-inquiry on a daily basis, because you will start to observe the transformations that you're having within you by just spending some time with yourself. Because all these practices will not change anything, but they will make you realize, they'll make you become aware of what is already existing. That is the game changer. All these practices will serve you as an inner vision to already existing experiences, and that will help you to realize that your mind is indeed an experience within you. It has nothing to do with what you are in reality. That distinction can be realized with practice. I hope this video is helpful, and I'll meet you in my next video. Take care.